Hey guys, so thank you so much for buying the Relentless indicator. I'm going to talk through the settings, what it comprises of, how you can change it. So if you want to change colors, anything like that, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to just talk through a little bit of the different things on the indicator as well that you can see on the chart, what they mean, what they represent, and where we're going to potentially find these good setups as well. So first of all, what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about the candle settings. So at the moment you can see that we've got these red, blue, green colours on our bars. So if you have this setting enabled, so in the setting, if you double click on the actual indicator, or you can come up to the top left, and on the indicator you can click on the settings as well if you hover over it in your top left hand corner. But if you just double click anywhere on the indicator, you'll get to the same point. And if you come into style, you'll see plot candle colors. So if I take them off, you can see that now my candles are back to what my original settings are. Now some people might have red and green normal candles, so let me just show you what that looks like as well. So the problem you might have, if your candles are red and green, let me just do it, borders, sorry. Let's just say all your candles are red and green, like every little bit of it. If you then, on the indicator, have the plot candles enabled, what you'll see is it looks a little bit confusing. So it looks like, you can see that like the wicks and the outside of the candles, if it's got a green body, it's now got red on the outside, and that's because of your chart settings. So if you do want to enable the different coloured candles with the indicator, I would recommend changing the settings. So that's your main settings, which if you just right click on the chart somewhere else, click settings down the bottom, or there's a little settings icon in the top right hand corner, you can go there and that'll bring you to this menu. I would just recommend changing your candle like colors and stuff to neutral colors, because then what you're going to see is the outsides of the candles are just going to look that little bit they're gonna just look at not as messy basically, and that white's just a bit too white for me, so I'm just gonna knock that down a shade as well. So now you can see, looking at it, I've not got the confusing red outside of the candles and stuff. So that's just one fix you can do if you want to. But like I said, if you double click on the actual indicator settings, you can turn off the plot candle colors if you don't like them, and you can just have your normal colors. For now, I'm just going to leave them on for the purpose of the video, and then I'm going to talk you through what they actually mean. So obviously red potentially means that we're looking to have more of a bearish bias on price. Green means that we're looking to have more of a bullish bias on price, which means go up. The bearish means come down if you're not familiar with those terms. If you see a blue one, this means that we're looking at potential indecision with our calculations, and we think that the market could just stall a little bit. It's not too sure which direction it's going. So as you can see here, it can sometimes happen before like reversals and stuff. So we were coming up here, but then here we got like actually price has started making its way down. So we might get that little bit of indecision whilst the market just figures out which way actually it wants to go before continuing, and then you can see it kicks in to the upside, and you can see that with the different colors. So that's all they're there for, just a little bit of an indicator. The other thing you're going to see on your chart is these little they are actually little stars, tiny little stars, green and red stars that plot underneath the candles. Again, these are just to signify that we think that the technicals are all lining up in more of a bullish direction. So we think that we would be expecting more bullish price action in these situations. And likewise, we could see some red ones. I'll show you those as well in a second as we go through some examples. So that's those settings. You can turn those off as well. So if you don't want to see all these dots on your chart, then you can come, and it's actually the ones that are called shapes. You can turn those off that way. So that's how you get rid of them. Again, going to leave them on for the purpose of the video. Okay, so next you're going to see these massive green and red zones and areas. So you've got the red bands up the top, green bands down the bottom, and these are designed as to be areas where we think price may hold at potentially as potential reversal zones. So looking at support and resistance levels, looking for price to maybe turn around here, and it's green because we think, well, if we get our signal potentially in these areas, we could be looking for reversals in and around these levels. So if you get a label print, and for example, oops, let me just get rid of that. If you get a label and it prints like somewhere like here in the middle of the chart, and it's not in the upper band or the lower band, or it's not bouncing off the central line, then you might just want to be careful with that, because it is technically in like no man's land, is what I would call it. So sometimes you get a good trade here, but sometimes what you want to really see is that price is holding at these levels. So for example, if price had been coming up here, dropped back off here, come back up, and then let's say we were getting a label print here, this is a good place, because this central line that you can see running through should act as like some kind of support or resistance. If we're above it, obviously it's green, and hopefully you can see that as support. So it should act as support and be good for buy signals if they come up here. And same if you're below, if price is below, it should potentially hold as resistance. And we consider this line to be more like an average price line, so that's why we're expecting price to hold in and around these levels. If we come through it, fine. Then obviously we'd be looking for reverse trades potentially to the downside for it to hold on the other side, because then it would become support. Sometimes as well what you get is price comes below and then it might come back above. Price closes above here, so you might have like a bullish candle here with a little wick or something. That's a really bad explanation, but you might get a label print on this. So if it has overshot but then it's come back above and closed above, and then you get a label, that can still be a good entry because it is closing back above that price line that we're looking at. So you just need to take into account other things in terms of your trading and those higher time frame biases that you might have as well. So just bear those things in mind. So in terms of the settings, I would just leave these as they are in terms of what you can see on the chart with these bands. However, if you do want to change the colors, you're going to find them all here with the top outside line. If we change that to orange, you can see that's this line, and so on. So you can do anything that you want there with those colors. It's entirely up to you. So in terms of the settings, that's what they are. So we're going to talk through now just a couple of examples. So we're on a 15-minute chart here on UJ. Have already marked this one up as well. So oh wait, where's my signal? Do you know what, it might be a 5-minute. Let me just have a quick check on a 5. Here we go. So we got a 5-minute print here. 5-minute print label gets printed right here, and it prints on the close of the candle. So you'll see this is a print and it closes here, which is where we've put the entry. In terms of the stop loss now, what I would recommend is, as we've said here in the examples, is draw a horizontal line at the, there should be low, sorry about that, at the low, just before the label print, so that's here. And then that, you can see last time price hit this level was here. So we just zoom in on this little piece of price action. What we want to do is find then the lowest point just before that to see if there's one close enough. So this is clearly close enough. So this is where we would want to be putting our stop loss just to stay safe. And that's just to avoid us getting wicked out, because sometimes what can happen is price can alert, come down, just wick you out and then go. So that is to avoid those. Now, the other thing you might want to do is please back test this yourself, because what you might want to do is you might want to go for tighter stop losses, and that's absolutely fine. You just need to go through and back test it yourself, and it's whatever you're comfortable with. So if you don't want to have really wide stops, then that's okay. That's fine for you to do that as well. But this is just one way of us recommending how to use it. Here's the red dots as well that we were talking about before. So this is just showing potentially bearish momentum. So that's another thing that you can use the indicator for in terms of that. So let me just show you. So I think another example is gold. So let's just have a look. I'm sure I've got this marked up as well. This might be a 15-minute rather than a... Just wait for the indicator to load. Oh, where's my I've lost my labels. So anyway, let me just show you this. So we get label print here on the down candle. We can have, this is from today as well, so we can have, in terms of entering the trade, you can see, if we look really closely at this. So the label prints here on the close of the down candle. And what we want to do is just mark up the last high point, which is here. And then we just want to scroll left until price last hit it. This didn't hit it, so we'll keep going. Here it is, price last hit here. Where's the high just before that? If I move this out of the way, we can see price last hit it here. So my stop should go above that. So we can put the stop here, above that level. If price comes up there, chances are it's probably just going to carry on and it's going to be a bad trade. And you can see that this is today, and it's just absolutely flown. And again, this would be potentially in line with higher time frame bias as well. We were heavily bearish on gold, so looking for shorts would have been a good idea today as well. So I hope this helps in terms of understanding how best to use the indicator. It's really good if you've used our Meraki method course. It can be used in conjunction with that. It can be used in conjunction with market maker, OB strategy, anything you want. Just to give you, the indicator should give you confluence to those trades then. So if you're trading Meraki method with Pete and you see that you're looking for trades in and around this level, then the indicator could just give you that little extra that you're looking for to confirm like entry in terms of extra confluence that you need to go in and give you confidence to go in. In terms of the trading plan, make sure you use the trading plan. It's really, really key. The indicator is not going to be 100% accurate. If it was, then I'd have probably sold it for trillions of dollars and I wouldn't be sat here today, because nothing in the financial markets, unfortunately, is 100% that I'm aware of. If you do know of anything, let me know, because I would be really interested in that. But the main thing is make sure you're using the correct risk management with it. You back test it. Don't just take every single label that comes up. Don't trade anything lower than a 5-minute, 15-minute, especially if you're brand new. I wouldn't recommend trading on the 1 minute. The lower time frame you go, you're going to get more false signals, because obviously price moves that quickly, and you would have to be hyper scalping on the 1 minute to get the most out of it, and that's going to be extremely difficult to do. So my recommendation is definitely those higher time frames to begin with if you're new to trading. If you're more confident trader already in terms of your understanding of the markets and price action, then by all means you can drop down to those lower time frames and look for key signals and in line with your setup. So that would be that. Risk management, don't over leverage or anything like that, and keep it fun as well. So if you start feeling like you're taking too many losses or anything, take a break, come back to it another day, and then get going again, and make sure you backtest and get familiar with how it works and when best to use it. Some of the best trades I've seen have been on like a 5 or 15 minute, when price actually comes outside this top band and then comes back in and you get a label print. They can be really, really nice trades on reversals. However, on the flip side of that is, if you see price doing this, then you just want to be careful with it, because the indicator is going to try and pick out reversals, right? So what you don't want to do is be entering long every single time, because if, for example, the indicator may have alerted like here, for example, on to buy, and you get stopped out. Don't chase this trade for a buy. There'll be other alerts, there'll be other setups that look cleaner than this, and this is clearly in a down market. So why are we trying to buy it up? It's just stupid. And at some point, that's what you have to have a word with yourself. You can't chase these trades. You've got to understand that sometimes they're not going to work out, and we need to look for the higher probability setups in line with higher time frame trends and stuff like that. So I hope this has been helpful. What we're going to do is, as we go through, obviously this is brand new to us in terms of releasing something like this, so we'll learn as well from it in terms of any feedback you have for us. What we're hoping to do is maybe a live session once a month, where we can look back over some trades, we can look back at how people are finding it, some of the trades that you guys have taken, and we'll learn and improve together with the indicator as well. So really looking forward to having you on board in these discussions and seeing your results as well. So thanks very much, and I will speak to you soon.